Hello, welcome back. Good morning, or maybe good evening, or happy lunch, I don't know, wherever you are. Today we're going to talk about Westworld Episode 2 of Season 2. Interesting episode, not bad. I'm curious about the Dolores character. She gets a bit one-dimensional with her revenge-driven plot. I don't know. We'll see where that is headed. But in yesterday's episode, I thought there were two little moments that were actually pretty neat in terms of animation material. There's this interesting moment where Dolores is face-to-face with another character, and there's a nice close-up of her thinking and processing the information that she was given, and there's enough time for the character to think, react, and then change the attitude. And that's something that's commonly rushed through in student work. There's a shot that I critiqued just recently where exactly that happened. And it's very common in student work, and I did the same thing. You want to go through the shot, you want to show your animation, you want to show your arcs and everything, you want to show that you can animate, but because of that, you sometimes rush through the movements, you rush through the motions, you end up rushing through the thought process of a character. You want to show on a character that whatever happens to the character, whatever the character sees, has an impression on them, that they're processing it, they're thinking. You see that thought process in the face, where the character might look around, some eye darts, cliche things like put some eye darts in there when they're thinking, but you want to see that. And for her, it was a cool moment of having that look and then going, okay, and then changing that attitude. To give your character time. And it doesn't mean that suddenly it gets boring. Don't feel pressure to constantly move stuff. It's okay for your character to suddenly slow down and think and show the audience, I'm thinking, I'm processing, I'm now understanding something new and now making a choice based on that new information. And that thought process could be, like I said, through eye darts, through blinks. It could be a moment of a lot of movement, it's suddenly stopping, looking over, and then continuing, so you can have contrast in your movement. That will be a nice contrast because the movement stops, but it will also tell the audience this is important because it's changing. There's contrast in movement, what's going on, and then as they pay attention to the character's face, as you can have, for instance, eye darts, whatever you want to do, they will understand, okay, that character is processing information, deconstructing whatever they just witnessed, and now they're doing a new action, or there's a new character choice based on that information. Don't rush through it, give your character time to think. As the show continued, there was an interesting Last Supper, I'm assuming, reference there, including resurrection. But let's continue to a new scene where a character is swallowing. I know, this sounds ridiculous or trivial, but that's something that I rarely see in animation. And there's something else I want to talk about in The Illusionist, where there's a big long scene between two characters, where there's a similar moment where the character swallows. And the thing is, when your character is swallowing, it could be all kinds of things, right? It could be whatever, thirsty, whatever that situation demands a swallow. But a lot of times you can have it in standoffs or a very tense situation or like a power play. And when the character swallows, it could mean that they're nervous, they're concerned, they're fearful, they're panicked. They're just not as confident as they used to be. And you can see this in this scene where the character says something to another character, and the older one is very powerful, and the new younger character in a way says something that challenges the older character, and that character understands that and goes, wait a minute, no one really talks to me like this. And as they say this, and as that character gets up to the other character, you can see there's a certain power play, there's a threat going on, and the younger character understands that and swallows. And because of that, you understand that this character is nervous, not as confident, or maybe, I don't know how this is going to play out, but then there's the nice resolution where the other character actually says, okay, tell me more, let's see where this goes. So it paid off at the end. But it is an interesting thing that is, to me, underused in animation. Maybe it's because a lot of the rigs that you can get online for free, they don't have a swallow control. So it's kind of hard to implement that unless you create your own shapes, you do some deformations. I don't know what you would do, but I think it's something worth thinking about, where if you have a power play, or if you have some standoff between characters, or even if they're just looking at something and they're thinking, I might not be able to make this. It could be a kid that wants to jump into a pool and it's really high up, or into a lake or an ocean, whatever it is, right? A cliff jump, and they're looking and they have just that moment of swallow. Again, it could be a lot of movement and suddenly they stop to look around and swallow. It could be contrast in movement, it's visually interesting. And then you have that indication of, maybe I'm not as confident as I would like to be. And that could be one more layer in your performance that could be interesting to watch. So little things in this episode, but I think if you look for certain elements, there's always something interesting to find in an episode. It could be something good or something bad. It could be a big moment. It could be a small moment. To me in this episode, it was more small. There's other stuff that's great as well, but I'm looking for specific moments that I could relate to animation that might be helpful to you we go, oh yeah, that's cool. Maybe I can put that into my shot and kind of expand the acting range or just kind of tweak something that's going to make it more interesting. So that analysis is always going to be from a specific animation point of view. Let me know in the comments if this is helpful or if you have used this before. Maybe you have an example that shows exactly that. That would be cool. And if you want to get notified about all the clips that I'm going to upload, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you know that I have something new to watch. I hope it's interesting. If you watch until the very end, thank you very much, and have a nice lunch, dinner, supper, wherever you are.